I'm excited to talk through some results that have been incredible. My buddy Justin has been rocking it with our Kaboom Leads, and so I'm excited to bring him on and talk through his success, things that are working, pros like tips, etc. And so please welcome Justin Cantrell. What's up, buddy?
Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for having me. Kaboom Leads, they have been an absolute game changer for me and my organization and my team,
Wow.
especially my guys as well. I mean, finding compliant leads is by far the hardest as an agent, as an individual broker. It is the hardest thing to do, is to go and try to find a compliant lead that's not getting sold three times, four times, five times, six times, which everybody knows that's going to get stopped in September. And not only is it going to get stopped in September, these leads are going to go like skyrocketing, unless
Mm,
you're with Kaboom Leads.
that's right, man. Amen. I love that. So if just kind of talk through like how many did you grab on your first order? Do you remember?
Yeah, I ordered 50. And the reason why I ordered 50 of the Kaboom Leads, I think I did um, statewide, 7 states. The only reason why I did 50, the minimum for me is 50, is because when you're
Yeah.
doing telesales, you need to have a bundle of leads to go through. You don't want to get 30 and just kind of run through 30 and not catch anybody home. That's why for me, 50 is that magic number to get some
Yeah.
premium going and make the magic happen.
True. I think, one of the first leads, I think did you have a setter that was helping you and then live transferred it over? Like, talk through that. I'm trying to remember what
Yes.
happened.
So okay, so I'm looking for leads. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to go to. I went to Chris, and Chris was like, "Hey, you really need to check out Cody's leads because I'm like buying leads here. I'm trying it over here."
Mhm.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll give Cody Leeds, I'll give him a chance. And I talked with you, and you got me going. I did my order. Literally, not even within the first 24. It was early in the morning, Friday morning. I had a lead come in around 11 o'clock, 12, and my appointment setter, he seen it on his CRM, and he called them. They picked up immediately, and I wasn't ready for this, by the way. Full transparency, he just like called me. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Jason? And he was like, oh, we have somebody on the phone here. I'm like, oh, okay, totally got me
Wow.
off guard. And I took it from there, and then boom, I think I wrote like 3 or 4 thousand AP just off one lead. That one lead, first lead that I did, paid for my entire lead order plus the next one that I bought after that.
Wow. Dude, that's cool, man. And what did the rest of the order look like? Like, how many apps? How much premium? Like, I think it was a good number premium-wise, but do you remember specifics?
So the first week, I want to believe that I pulled about 7,000 AP out of my first week, but you know how it is whenever you're trying to call people, they're on vacation, they're outside mowing the grass, they just right now is not a good time,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Out of the first lead batch, because I wanted to make sure I got a raw number. All in all, I think I did about 10,000 AP within the course of 3 weeks out of my first lead batch. And that's just getting the
Wow.
stragglers. First week was 7,000 right up front, which, if you're a brand new agent, you need money quickly to reinvest and keep that wheelhouse going. So that was
Correct.
huge. And then being able to grab an extra 3 grand of AP within the course of the next 2 weeks, it was huge for me because I was like, wow, man, this stuff's amazing. Because if I can do
Mm.
this, my guys can do this.
Yeah.
And it was just it's been a blessing in disguise. It really has.
That's killer. Congrats, buddy. We also know what you're doing. You've been doing this for a minute, and you do a really good job. I don't think we have the buy now, pay later program at kaboomleads.com. I don't think you use that. I think you just bought them.
Mm-mm. No, I just
Yeah,
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 yeah.
it's
That's
cool.
cool though. I didn't know that. Now
Yeah, that's new.
you telling me that I have 3 guys that's going to be hopping on that
Okay,
next.
cool. I love that. Yeah, so that we use Shopify, and there's a Shop Pay where they can pay via installment payments. And yeah, it's actually a pretty cool, if they can qualify, it's a pretty cool program. Yeah, it's pretty neat. What are some of the tips as you think back on um, just working leads in general and specifically Kaboom leads? Like, what are some of the tips and success pieces that you remember or that you would like to mention to agents to make sure they also see success too?
I want to say the biggest component for me is, and you say this all the time, Chris says it all the time, anybody that knows what they're doing, they say this all the time. The biggest success that I had was getting them engaged and knowing what's going on within the first 15 seconds of the call. I
Mm,
think that that's completely just, hands down, that's the most important that you have to get through when you're talking to your client.
yep.
And for me, that was the biggest component there. After that, I mean, it's just like what a lot of people don't know my background. I did door knocking for 5 6 years straight in the bit. I still do door knocking and I love it. I do telesales too. This is my office, and I mean, honestly, after that first 15 seconds and you're getting them engaged and kind of building that buying environment, I just treat it like I'm sitting there with them, no different
Mm,
than, if I'm in the room touching their leg, keeping them engaged, touching their shoulder. I do the same
yeah.
thing. And, like I'll be in my office and my guys will see me in here. I'm like doing all these hand gestures, but I do this because, a lot of what we do is mental. It's up here, right? So if I envision myself like I'm in their room
Yeah.
helping them in their situation, it just helps me be able to connect with them and relate to them a whole lot better.
Yep. Yeah. Also too, what would you say is like some of the clear differences? Because maybe there's some new agents on there that maybe haven't worked leads or maybe they've worked in face-to-face leads, but never telesales, maybe telesales, but never face-to-face, like we have a bunch of agents, like, Carol, who she sold 9 of her first 20, um, door knocking, right? What are some of the, like, if they're thinking about transitioning, what are some of the things that you've noticed?
Are you talking about going from like direct bill door knocking to telesale?
Yeah, yeah, use that as an example. So I'm going face to face, and I wanna start using the phone.
So can I also use different leads as well
Sure,
as talking about other
sure,
leads? All right.
totally.
So whenever I was transitioning into telesales, like Cody mentioned in the beginning of this interview, I had the hardest time trying to find qualify like highly qualified leads, and I can't tell you how much money that I wasted on buying
Mm,
these two, three, four, $5 leads, right? These two, three, $5 leads that's getting resold to six other people just like me and you. I wasted so much time, energy, effort because they're cheap, right? In quotations, cheap. In all reality, what I realized is I'm going to have better luck spending an extra $15 to buy a highly qualified lead that nobody's ran and touched versus trying to go through and buy these cheap leads, because let's face it, there's no lead that's cheap. You go buy a lead for $5, well, you're going to get a $5 lead that's been ran, that all other agents have touched and sold, and you're the fifth person that's called and they don't want to talk to you at that point. And at that point, that's where you see agents making four, five, 600 dials to these cheap leads, and they're getting really burnt out quickly, and it's just because they don't have a highly qualified lead. Whenever I switched over to Kaboom Leads, it was game changer. I mean, I was able to like sit there and actually have a conversation with people. I was the first person they've talked to about this in forever. Not to only mention that, you put like their favorite hobby. I'm like, oh, and by the way, Mrs. Jones, your favorite hobby is quilting. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, perfect. You know, and that's been a huge game changer for me. But I think the biggest transition into uh, door knocking with direct mail leads into these telesale digital leads, for me, it's crazy because, like I said before, I bought a batch of leads from you literally within the first person that reached out, that came through my CRM. I sold a 4,000 AP policy to, and I was like, holy guacamole! I literally on a Monday. Oh no, it was not Monday. It was Friday because I made the lead order on Thursday. I was like, on a Friday, I didn't have to spend money on gas, on a hotel. I didn't have to drive. I didn't have to, because it was like monsooning where I lived in Kentucky,
mm,
and I was like, I didn't have to go out in the rain, And I just had this conversation with this person, and I was able to help put their family in a better place. And it was an awesome conversation. And instead of me having to drive 100, 200 miles for that one day to get the same result, I got it within less than an hour. And it was, I mean, honestly, it was mind blowing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know how you get that moment of, oh, okay, like that little moment of realization. Oh, okay, that's what I had. Like, oh, okay, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
reason why you want highly qualified leads.
Correct. Well, what would you say is like the main couple of the main reasons why you were able to turn a $900 investment into $10,000? Like, what are some of the main reasons that you were able to technically 11x a lead investment?
Mindset. I think mindset's pretty huge. Whenever I sit down on my table and I go to make my dials, it's all about having a positive mindset. And everybody has a lot of stuff going on in life. You got bills coming up. You know
True.
maybe you got like a family member that's on their deathbed, but you still have to go to work to provide for your family. I
Mhm.
think being able to, when you sit at your desk and make a firm commitment to you and yourself and your family, that no matter what happens, I'm not going to pop up a YouTube video over here. I'm not going to be watching Netflix over here on this screen. You're all in, pushing all those poker
Yeah.
chips. You're all in. I think, to me, that is my biggest factor, because I have agents where I'll walk in the room and they're on their Instagram feed scrolling, and I don't say anything because I don't want to demoralize them. But I'm like, this is the reason why you're not getting the results that you have, is because you're letting yourself be distracted by all these things that are like wanting to distract us and take our time away. So I
Yeah.
think I think that is a huge one, mindset. And I triple dial every single lead that I have. Whenever I am dialing, I triple dial. And or if you're in a financial position to do this, delegate dialing tasks to an appointment setter.
Mm.
I think delegation is a huge key to growing your business and scaling it 10x.
Yep.
If you have two appointment setters that you're paying, 5, 6, 7 bucks in the Philippines for, and they're dialing for you, and they're literally not selling, they're not doing anything, they're just getting a person to you, live transfer, into your in front of you, with you
Yep.
having all the knowledge. It's at that point it's easy just to be able to help them. And that's delegation is huge for me in my office, because without it, I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have gotten this far that I am in my life.
I love it. Dude, that's impressive. Such good tips. If they have not tried Kaboom Leads, what would you say? What advice would you give to somebody that hasn't tried Kaboom Leads yet?
If you've not tried Kaboom Leads, you're missing out. You're missing out on an incredible opportunity, not to protect a family, but to show your family what you can
Mm.
do and how you can provide for them. I have been blessed, Cody. I've been in this business for 6 to 7 years, and I have been very blessed to buy and purchase my first dream house for my family, my
Let's
forever home.
go.
It was a $500,000 home, and I'm
Woo!
telling you, you have to, you got to try these leads out. And if you don't, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. Most importantly, you're wasting one thing that you can't get back, and that's your energy.
Mhm.
And you got to try them. You just
Let's go.
take my words here. You got to try these leads.
I love it. I love it. I can't guarantee that you'll end up like your dream home like Justin, but either way, dude, Justin, you're amazing. Thanks for being on the podcast. You're awesome, bro.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you
Yeah,
for
man.
having me.
Dude, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your experience. Also, if you guys have not tried Kaboom Leads, go to kaboomleads.com. The link is in the description below. Use coupon code YouTube to get 10% off your very first order. And then maybe you get a little kaboom along the way. Hope you're doing amazing. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Adios. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel. talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Okay, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.